I never thought I'd say this, but the economic situation under Trump is bad, and I mean like really bad. Liberals, you were right on this one. Inflation is through the roof. Tariffs are robbing all the money from the pockets of hardworking Americans. Inflation is going up faster than a Blue Origin capsule, and personal wages are dropping faster than a phone call on the AT&T network. Listen, I don't really know how to deal with all this bad information, okay? Quite frankly, it's overwhelming. I know you're sitting there with that crap-eating grin on your face like I told you so. Well, guess what? I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. I'm a grown-up about it. That being said, psych, I'm never wrong. Just ask my dad.
New numbers on inflation. This is the Fed's go-to inflation metric. And we really got good news on that front. Month over month, prices were up just barely 0.1%. At an annual rate, 2.1%. That is a 7-month low, and it's basically right where the Fed wants it, right? Normally, they want that 2%. They're just above that. Normally, I think you'd have some celebrations at the Federal Reserve. I don't think we're going to have that today because, of course, there's still so much coming as far as tariffs, and a lot of economists do believe that this is still the calm before the storm, that we will eventually see tariff-driven price hikes. Not totally seeing it yet, but it is the expectation to come.
You said that Donald Trump was going to cause untold inflation, but the Fed has consistently said that 2% is perfect. 2.1%, not bad, you agree? When a certain monthly report under Biden was at 9.1%, you also said that tariffs were going to crush our economy, but we haven't seen those price hikes yet. Still waiting for it? Don't hold your breath. I'd also like to point out the media outlet where this came from. CNN, those traitors. Speaking of traitors,
have just come out, which are rather extraordinary, and I thought I'd play a tape of one of the people who I've respected over the years. This just came out, and we'll just play that for a second.
Personal income is up 0.8%. That is almost triple the expectations, and it underscores we could talk about a lot of issues, but when you look at income for the first 4 months of the year, they're powerful numbers, Joe. Up 0.6 in January, up 0.7 in February, up 0.5% last month, up 0.8 this month. This is a great 4-month start to any year. Now, with the income shooting up, and by the way, 0.8 is the strongest income month-over-month jump since May of 21, when it was 1.9. The income numbers, really, for the first 4 months of the year, they're stellar. They're really stellar. I mean, I could go back and look at the first 4 months of many different years. Really very strong numbers, and you're right. This administration is criticized for just about everything under the sun. I've never, ever in my lifetime had glimpses into the politics of an administration in the form of transparency like this one. Why don't we be, give credit where credit is due.
So a personal income increase of 0.8%, which is 3 times what's projected, that's really, really good. But it always comes with a big old but, doesn't it? But it doesn't matter if wages are going up, if inflation's also going up. Time out. Didn't we just cover inflation? But Trump is mean and he does mean tweets. Don't care.
This is the trade balance, which is a deficit, expecting minus 143 billion. Wow, it comes in much, much smaller, minus 87 billion. And now this follows a 163 that gets converted to 162 billion with a minus sign, the worst since record-keeping 1989. Then we cut it in half to 87.6. And this really does underscore how the movement of goods and services has really changed due to a variety of tariff-related issues.
I also thought everybody was going to get one last order of imports that were going to be tariffed, and they were loading up on things. How the hell they already fix the trade, or not fix it, but to cut it in half? That's crazy. So there wasn't a lot of front loading of things that they needed before the tariffs hit?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it really does call into question some of the conventional wisdoms. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next month when we get this number, or we see some of the other numbers like current accounts, see how they fared. Because I don't know, I've been watching these numbers a long time. I don't think I've ever seen the trade deficit cut in half in 1 month.
Not bad.
The yearly deficit has been cut in half from $2 trillion annually to $1 trillion, and much of that is because of tariffs. If at this point you can't just sit back and have a little bit of faith in Trump, I'm sorry, but there's no helping you. They said tariffs were going to destroy our economy, that he could never bring back jobs, that he could never tackle inflation, and he sure could never tackle the deficit, but that's exactly what he's doing. Even when it becomes undeniable, you still deny.
All I feel is I could take a breath today. It seemed like through this whole sale that was pending, it just gave you stress. It's just wonderful.
It's like early Christmas, man, here in the Mon Valley, and he's protecting at least 11,000 jobs for Pennsylvania.
North Braddock Mayor Cletus Lee was one of a group of Mon Valley leaders who came together in recent months to push leaders in Washington to approve a deal that led to investments in the Mon Valley.
When you see that everything you've done for the last 2 years come together, it's overwhelming with emotion. So yes, I was crying, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Big men cry. And I was crying with happiness.
Driving that emotion is a fear of what could have happened. West Mifflin Mayor Chris Kelly thought plants may have to close as soon as next year.
And President Trump, what he did today is, it's presidential.
I feel that today we saved steel in Pittsburgh, not just the Mon Valley, but we saved the legacy that all of our forefathers, and I grew up in a steelmaking town, they're all looking down on us and saying, thank you.
Remember what I said before about being big enough to own up to it and admit when you've been wrong. I hope you can, but I seriously doubt it. Because liberal, if you like what I do, please leave a like, they really help. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.
I broke up with my ex-girl. Here's a number. Psych! That's the wrong number!